been a wonderful experience working with these young kids I would say young men and women, and in the Game of Real Life program. And one thing that I can't really differentiate between a most memorable experience. This whole thing has been a very memorable experience because it's just, you really can't replace seeing the excitement of the kids in the program, because they really latch on to this information because they really see the practical use of this information, because it's not just something that they learn. It's not like the things at school that they learn that may not affect them, in the long run, but these are actually real life things that everybody's going to go through. And so as far as finances, and they're things that they agree that they need to know. And so it makes it very easy to teach, and it also makes it instantly gratifying because they are enjoying learning it. And so it's been a wonderful experience, and I can't wait to work in the future.
What I've learned when working with the students is that education at all levels, young children, young adults, even adults such as myself, education is always important. And what I've learned, or one valuable lesson that I've stressed to the students since working with them closely is that time is always important. Being conscious and aware of what you're doing and how you're spending your time, whether it's for your personal growth or your professional development, is always crucial, because that's time spent advancing to the head of the class, or advancing ahead in your career path, or even in your future, and even your family's future. And I'm also looking very forward to coming back for the next program here to help the younger generation come in and be successful with both their own life and their education and their career path.
I joined Skills for Living because I thought it'd be a great opportunity to help high school students through problems that I was facing while I was in high school, because a lot of high schools these days don't teach a lot of the skills and techniques that we're teaching them here. So I thought that would be a great opportunity to kind of, as someone that's already gone through this all, they could learn from my examples in my past.
I joined this organization because I realized that it's a really great program set up for students at high school learning how to plan out their financials as an adult. I think it's very important. It's something I wish I had when I was younger. It would probably help me out a lot with my financials as well. It helps students understand what it's like to become an adult, and it's great to learn it now. It's never too late to learn anything, but it's never too early as well. I mean, now is a great time.
Moment from the experience has been to, as I interviewed people in the first week, interviewed students, was how quickly they grew in confidence the more that they spoke. And just as they started doing the interview process, they actually gained confidence and were able to draw on the skills that they had obviously learned from interviewing, and it was kind of fun to watch that. That was great for me. I enjoyed that.
This game has really impacted my life. I've enjoyed working with the students and seeing the real life experience that they're getting. Each of the students, the interview process and learning to buy the cars and the homes has really helped, and I wish that an experience like this was around when I was younger. It would have really been helpful. I've gained a lot of knowledge on how students are at this age, this day and age, and have just really enjoyed seeing how they're progressing and how much knowledge they're getting throughout this process.
How has the game changed my outlook on real life? Well, I live in real life, so but I can see a definite need for people to get their finances together, and I've been in this business for 8 years, 6 years as a manager, so I've been doing it all along, but as a teenager in high school, to be able to learn this information is invaluable. I've seen adults that didn't know how to write checks and manage their money as well. So it's a very extremely important lesson to learn on life early.
First is my most memorable experience, and it's not a single experience. It's just at the fact as you get through the game and you complete the game, you realize that a lot of students have gained a tremendous amount of information that even adults may not have because they've had to go through taxes and several jobs, and they've paid bills and so forth and so on, and by the end of the game, they're basically ready for real life, and that's what the game of real life is all about. It's just, I regret that we can't get more students involved in the program, and in many cases, it's the students themselves that don't realize the benefit they would achieve by attending the game of real life. So I guess if I had one regret, I'd say that more students are not involved, and this gives us an opportunity to get out and try to contact and encourage more students to be part of the program.
I think it's a fantastic program. From what I've seen this morning, the kids really enjoy it, and the volunteers get a lot out of it in terms of networking themselves, passing on their knowledge, and really having an understanding about what the generation that are just about to graduate, what challenges they face as well, and how our knowledge can help them, but also vice versa. If I was to pass on one tip from my own experience, it would be to grab every opportunity that comes your way, even if you're not quite sure how it's going to work out, to network lots, keep in contact with people you've met, and just enjoy yourself. Find something you love, and then find somebody who will pay you to do it.
The most valuable lesson that I've tried to express to students is not to focus on buying a car when you first start out in life. We noticed, the group I was working with, that we were in the car dealership area, and we didn't have very many students the first couple of rounds. And that's real life, because students need to focus on taking care of other things like college, tuition, getting a place to stay, insurance. Those things are so much more important than getting a car. And what I explained to the students who were in my group is that if you focus on getting a car right when you graduate from high school, you may be in your parents' house a little longer than anticipated, because you won't have any time or any money, more specifically, to take care of things that are much more important. My life would have been different had I had the opportunity to go through a program like Skills for Living when I was growing up, because when I went to college, there was so much I didn't know about finances and just really taking care of business and prioritizing needs. And I think that I would have been, quite honestly, in a lot less debt coming out of college had I had an experience like the one that the students are getting in Skills for Living.
I think the most memorable part for me was doing the interviews, hearing them really be able to talk themselves up, and they really seemed to know what they were doing and develop those skills really early, which is very rare for high school students to have had exposure to that, and I think that will really benefit them, and hopefully they learned something from the process, and I was able to give them feedback as someone who's been interviewing for jobs myself. I hope they really just come away with a value of education, and that they can see that college really is important as they're learning in there right now, that they can't really afford life if they don't go to college. And I hope they see how possible it is and also how important it is, and can apply that to their real life.
It's changed my life quite a bit, because I have had the opportunity to work with some fantastically intelligent students who come from low-income areas, and therefore would not have had the same opportunities to access financial literacy information that perhaps others should have or do in other schools. So it's been a thrill working with some very intelligent, inquisitive students in areas that are just outstandingly wonderful to work with them with. When we achieve the objectives that we achieve, such as helping kids stay in school, preparing them to handle college-level material, getting them in and keeping them in college, that it would make me feel good, number one, realize that I was helping the community, number two, and that I was breaking the cycle of poverty. That's what Skills for a Living has meant to me.